respective areas. Big one in the Southwest, big one in the Big 8, big one in the Big 10.
How about Illinois? Big surprise there where they've been playing. Of course, they've been playing a lot of those at home. It'd be interesting to see how they do over at Iowa.
On grass, too.
This is Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama. It is a place of history, legend, and myth in college football. Today, the 74th game in the Alabama-Tennessee College Football Series. Hello again, everybody, and you can't know how much fun it is for me to come back for one more of these. This has been a series of legendary people and moments. You know, if you want to be a legend in sports, all you got to do is win the big games once in a while and leave a lot of quotes. Quotes like these from General Robert Neyland, who said, "Touchdown follows blocking just like night follows day." Wallace Wade of Alabama, "Nobody ever wins a football game, somebody loses it." Or Paul Bryant on a Thursday night before an Alabama-Tennessee game, he said simply to his Warriors, "Be brave." Longevity is another factor in the legend march. This will be the 22nd Alabama-Tennessee game for Tennessee coach Johnny Majors. 1956, a senior tailback All-American and runner-up in the Heisman, a 24-0 win. 1982 as coach, a 35-28 win, and Johnny really remembers that one.
Tennessee lost quite a few before I came back. I think 6 in a row, and we've lost more than I'd like to think about when I came back. 5 in a row, and Alabama came into Knoxville number 2 in America. It was Coach Bryant's last year, which we didn't know about at the time. I'd always had a lot of respect for Coach Bryant. Got to know him pretty well. And it was a major upset, one of the most exciting games I've ever been around. Of course, we beat them 35-28. And Coach Bryant was a great winner, great coach. I jumped off shoulders and I shook hands with him after the game in Knoxville. And he says, "Johnny, you had a good game plan." Of course, he knew how to take a loss, too, because he's had his share of wins through the years. That was the last time he coached the Tennessee-Alabama rivalry. It was very meaningful. One of the most exciting days of my lifetime, I'll say that.
Sports and science converge.
The Crimson Tide of Alabama, 5-1, ranked 14th in the country. Their loss was at Florida. Tennessee is 4-1. Their loss was at Florida. Gene Stallings, the coach of the Crimson Tide, second year, 12-6, and Alabama has won 5 in a row over Tennessee. Our double Hall of Famer Bob Griese is getting his first taste today of shootout in the Southeastern Conference. He's into the fried chicken, but we can't get him on the sawmill gravy and biscuits yet.
No.
We're working on it. Bob, both these teams come in now with outstanding defensive units, but the offense comes from a totally different design.
No question that the defenses have the same recipe, that speed and quickness, but offensively it's totally different. For Tennessee, they lead the conference in total offense, in passing offense, I should say. And their quarterback, Andy Kelly, is the #1 rated passer in the SEC in total offense. He got banged up last week, some bumps and bruises in the loss at Florida. He'll be all right today. Alabama, on the other hand, does it the old-fashioned way. They run the football. They lead the conference in rushing offense. In fact, they have over 300 yards per game on their average. And their outstanding tailback, Saran Stacy, leads the conference in rushing. Big games are usually decided by turnovers and mistakes. And if that's the case here today, Alabama gets the edge because they lead the conference in takeaways.
And Alabama has an edge in the series over the years, but as an old friend of mine once said, analyzing is paralyzing. Let's play this blame thing. Receives the football to start the game. Here are the strengths.
Alabama has got to be able to run the football to take pressure off of their quarterback. And for Tennessee defensively, 9 senior starters, a very experienced crew.
3 people are back. David Palmer is in the middle for Alabama. He is the troop for the Volunteers, and Tennessee is wearing the white road uniforms today. From the 35. Chapman knocks it all the way to Bessemer. No return. Alabama ball, first down at the 20. Here's your first play of the ball game from the 20 for Alabama. Palmer's in motion. Palmer's got the ball. Coming around the corner. He shakes one. And he puts his head down and bulls something about the offensive front. Palmer is out now at the flanker spot, having given him 8 yards, and Prince Wimbley is in there. Mix up in the backfield. Woodson went the wrong way. The football is fumbled, and it is recovered by Tennessee's Sean Walker. I don't know whether Woodson went the wrong way. One of them did. They ran into each other. And Stacy and Woodson, in their collision, lose control of the ball. Walker covers it. Tennessee's cooking.
Gene Stallings of Alabama said, "We've got to get off to a good start." Not a good start. The fumble comes out. It's hard to tell whose fault that was, Keith, but Tennessee gets the ball in great field position.
At the 22-yard line of Alabama, and Andy Kelly is in there. Beat up and banged up, but he's in there. He's never won an Alabama game. This is Aaron Hayden getting the start. The ball squirts loose from Hayden, but it goes out of is a fifth-year senior from Dayton, Tennessee. He's 66% of the Tennessee offense, and that ought to tell you something about the problems that Johnny Majors and his folks have with the Tennessee offense. Tremendous wideout. From the 18-yard line, Kelly rolls it, keeps it, throws it for the corner. Incomplete, out of bounds. Pressure on Andy. Check off, and this is a tough place to check off when you're close to the end of Legion Field against Alabama. Hand the ball to Mario, no, it's Aaron Hayden, 24. 4 is the fullback, and Hayden getting a start ahead of James Stewart. Doesn't get a whole lot out of that as the Alabama defense swarms. And both these defenses will just eat you alive if you don't get things going in sync. Field goal try by John Bexford. He is a freshman from Chattanooga, Tennessee. He's 6 out of 7. He's so young, he doesn't even know it's hard. And he's just been knocking it through. The hold is Jason Julian. Snap is good. The hold, the catch is...
There's a reason.
Have a long history in this series. Go back to 1968.
Mike Dean from the 25. Blocked!
Jimmy Weatherford did it. 10-9, Tennessee won the game.
The ball game is over.
Who was that announcer anyway?
Some young fella. 30 in less than an hour after that game ended, Andy Sedaris, who was then directing college football, and I were passing through 10,000 feet on the way back to Mexico City and worked that night in the Olympics. Tennessee ought to get pretty good field position if they handle it. That's a good tight spin. It's a booming kick. Fumble by Carter. Ball is loose, and Alabama has got the football. It is covered by Steve Dusky. Steve Dusky is on the football. He's the tight end for Alabama, number 83.
There's a look at what I mentioned in the opening. Alabama in the turnover margin is +9. They've taken the ball away 9 more times than they've given it up. Didn't look back right into the sun.
That is the 4th fumble in this ball game. Would you say the guys are a little tight?
A little nervous.
Little tight. David Palmer coming around the corner. He's a freshman from Birmingham. We told you. Now, see, Wembley's running around. He thinks he's supposed to go out. Now he stays in. And there's 2 or 3 people out there don't know what they're doing. They pitch it back to David Palmer. He's going to throw it.
Yeah.
Gets it off. Got a man over there. That's Woodson, the quarterback. And he's down to the 10-yard line. And now Palmer's really hurt.
Well, that's why they wanted Palmer to stay in the ball game. He played quarterback as well in high school right here on this field. Let's take a look. Here's Palmer right here. He's going to go in motion. The quarterback will toss it to him and then come.
First down and goal to go. Just inside the 10-yard line. Stacy and Kevin Turner line up behind the quarterback, Woodson. Wembley and Lee are the wideouts for Alabama. They'd like to run the ball here. They'll try it with Stacy. And Stacey will get it to the 8-yard line for 2, and it'll be 2nd down and goal from the 8. And here's Jack Arute.
Well, Keith, you're absolutely right. The injury was to David Palmer's left ankle. They say it was a sprain, and the trainer says they're going to retape it. They've applied some ice material, so they say he's cleared to go back and play.
Thank you, Jack.
That'll be a big loss as you see what Alabama has done inside the 20-yard line.
Curtis Brown, number 85, checks in at a wide-out position for the Tide. Tennessee showing a 4-man front right now. Woodson keeps the ball, turns it inside, got a little daylight. Inside the 5 and down at the 4. Ernest Fields, number 23, made the tackle for Tennessee.
Tell you a little bit about David Woodson. He is leading the SEC in passing. That complicates a lot, only a 7th start.
Now Tennessee puts 8 folks up on the front. And it's 3rd down. Woodson looks to throw it, throws it now. The pass is incomplete, and you picked the wrong man. If he goes to his tight end, Buskey, he's wide open.
Take a look at Buskey, number 83. Now the flanker will come from the right side of the screen. Right there, he's coming in. That's who got the ball. But look at the tight end going out. Looked like he was more open than the flanker was.
Hamp Green will try a 21-yard field goal out of the hold of Jeff Wall. Trying for the lead here. And the kick ain't pretty, but it counts. Field in McClendon Park. Some of them probably just came over from homecoming at Tuscaloosa last Saturday, pulled in here on Tuesday, and they've been sitting under the shade tree ever since, having a good time. The numbers on Green's 21-yard field goal, and it came off a turnover.
You see Palmer, number 2. He's up moving around. He's had his ankle retaped. Mentioned
now, and Tennessee wants Dale Carter to handle the ball. It'll come down the middle and take a straight bounce to Carter. They fake the reverse. Carter looks for a crack and instead gets cracked at the 21-yard line. The Alabama defensive unit, which we have not given to you, and they do fly around. Resting out on the 21-yard line. 1st down and 10 for Tennessee. Andy Kelly playing sore, back to throw it. Drops it off. The pass is caught by Craig Faulkner, a sophomore from Richmond, Kentucky. They've got him short of the 1st down. Faulkner with very good quickness at 175 pounds. Again, Jack.
Keith, we did a polling of the trainers and various staff people as to what the mood of these two teams were. In the case of Alabama, they used one word, electric. But in the case of Tennessee, they know they've lost 5 games in a row. And the best way to exemplify it is what the coach said to him, Johnny Majors. He said, lay it on the line and be proud.
Well, if you're not going to sell out in this ball game, you ought not to be playing.
And when he said 5 games in a row, he meant 5 in a row to Alabama.
That's right. That stop is made. Aaron Hayden carrying it. Now, Tennessee didn't run a lick against Florida last week. They gained 49 yards in 60 minutes of football. That's not Tennessee football.
They come in averaging 300 yards in the air and 159 on the ground. And Johnny Majors would like to run the ball more than that.
Kelly, a little quick hit. That's good for the 1st down. I mean, he popped that thing right on the numbers. The ball was caught by Carl Pickens. The surest hands probably on the team. The tackle by Antonio Langham for Bama. And it's 1st down, Volunteers. Warm day in Birmingham. It's about 80 degrees. I don't see a cloud. Trees starting to turn. Nice setting. Handoff goes inside to Rock Poe. He's a freshman out of Mobile, a red shirt, and he's got good size of 220 pounds, and he moved that football. He got it up to about the 39-yard line. They've made Legion Field all fancy now. I mean, they've redone and added seats, and I mean, it's really been gussied up. You can't even throw your chicken bones on the floor anymore. You have to behave yourself. Goodness sakes. I mean, it's really fancy.
Well, they certainly welcomed you back here in Grandstown. You must not have thrown many chicken bones on the floor.
My pleasure. Penalty flag is on the field. Jimmy Harper is
Before
the
the ball
referee.
snap, illegal motion, offensive team, dead ball foul.
I love it. Dead ball foul. You don't have any doubt who's in charge.
Jimmy Harper's got to be doing this game. Tennessee, Alabama, and Jimmy Harper.
It's second down. Kelly gives it away to Hayden. And Aaron Hayden gets it up just over the 40. And Johnny Majors, in talking about Andy Kelly coming out of the Florida game last week, had this comment on his condition.
I don't know whether Kelly will go at full speed or not, but he has made considerable progress every day this week. He didn't get any work on Monday. He was out there observing, and he's practiced a little better every day. And everybody wants to play an Alabama game if you got any guts, and he has a lot of guts.
So AK is in there right now on third down and 4. Checked off. Hands it away. That's going to be a first down as Hayden finds some running room and goes slashing off the left side and puts the ball on the Alabama side of the field. First down.
It's a good checkoff by Kelly. He had everybody spread out. Alabama was spread from sideline to sideline. It's a good block there on Sullivan's number 90. Only needed 4 yards. And sometimes for a quarterback, it's tough to check from a passing play to a run play on 3rd and 4 or 5. But that was a good call by Kelly.
Saw that freshman drop that shoulder and lay a lick on George Teague, too. They've got Kelly. The sack is made. It's Antonio London getting their first, number 55. Monday night on ABC Sports, Jim Kelly and the Buffalo Bills. Call it second down at about 15. They look for some daylight up the middle with Hayden, the freshman out of Detroit. James Stewart is the other tailback for Tennessee. He's a freshman from Morristown, Tennessee. So they're young.
That offense for Tennessee lost 8 players from the offensive team last year to the NFL, to the draft. 8 players were drafted. And, of course, they had their 2 top tackles, outstanding players, and a wide receiver all go in the first round.
Look at this. No back. Everybody's outside. Pitch to the top, double at the bottom. Protection pretty good. He has to go inside, though, to Carl Pickens down the sideline. Carl Pickens has got a first down, Tennessee, inside the Alabama 15-yard line. Stacey Harrison saved the 6.
Well, you got no backs in the backfield, but here is Pickens. How can you leave him alone? He's just going to come down, break to the outside. They've got him spread from sideline to sideline. Get a little bit pressure on him, but as they go downfield and they back up, everybody forgets about Pickens.
Boy, you can't do that.
No, you got to have 2 guys on him most of the time.
This is Hayden carrying the ball. He picks up a couple down to about the 12, and there he is wrestled down. Carl Pickens is a junior out of Murphy, North Carolina. He could do a lot of things for your football team.
Well, he's an outstanding receiver. He came into the ball game approaching a lot of the receiving records at the University of Tennessee.
Second down and 7. Run it up the middle. The headgear comes off of Aaron Hayden as he hits the ground. He's tripped up by Teague, but he met so little resistance, he literally fell down.
This is just good, tough running up inside, and if Tennessee has a weakness, it might be in the fact that their 2 running backs are freshmen. Now, if they were offensive linemen, or you would be concerned, but if you're going to have any inexperience in any position, it would be a tailback, because all you have to do is give them the ball and let them react.
Stewart is in there replacing Hayden, and he comes off the bench cold, and they give him the ball, and John Sullins leads the defensive charge for Alabama, and they stop what was the 12th play in this possession for Tennessee.
This Crimson Tide defense doesn't give up a lot of points. As you see right here, only allowed 1 TD the last 10 quarters on this field.
So you got a situation here of 4th down and a yard, and this is time to play some jawbone football. They're going for it. Kelly throws it. Incomplete. Intended for Pickens, and the Tide has held.
Bad choice. Double coverage on Pickens. Take a look at Pickens now. That's 43 is Langham. He's going to get help from the safety coming from the right side. If the ball's thrown right now, you got a chance, but it's thrown a little bit late, and the safety gets over there. The ball is thrown low, and the reason it was low is that he saw the other guy coming. Take a look right here. He's going to run break to the inside. Now the two guys that are going to cover him are right here. He saw him coming, and he had to throw it because the defensive man was in his face.
And so with that failure to convert and get the touchdown, Tennessee leaves. This is an official timeout as Jimmy Harper's talking to the other officials, but the ball is just outside the 5, and I think he's questioning the location of the spot. But at least failing to score, they leave Alabama backed up down close to their own 5-yard line.
Interesting call, though, by Johnny Majors, not going for the...
Yep.
I wonder if it was because he's on the hash mark real close to the goalpost. That angle is very difficult this year.
Could be. This is Kevin Turner, the fullback, carrying the ball, and he works his way up around the 10, maybe the 11-yard line. The Honda Scholar Athlete of the Week, brought to you by American Honda, proud to support amateur athletics. Toby Shields, Junior Center, University of Alabama, this week's winner. Honda presenting a check for $3,000 to the General Scholarship Fund of the university. His major is marketing. His grade point 3.05. David Palmer is back in, sore ankle and all. They go inside to the big guy, Turner again. He's 220 pounds. And Tennessee is keeping Alabama pinned in there pretty well. They're right around the 10-yard line.
There's a look at the freshman. David Palmer, who was out, got his ankle taped. Looks like he's running pretty well.
I'm watching him go off now, and he's a little tender.
Yeah, for a little guy like that, his whole game is speed and quickness, and being able to move on those feet. That'll hurt him more than most people.
Here's where Alabama now could be hurt with a lack of real passing threat here. It's 3rd down and 5. It's a tough place to be throwing the ball around. They're going to do it. Let it go big, and it is incomplete. Intended for Lee, and there's a penalty flag thrown on this side of the field, and that may have holding all over it. Offside. Well, it was 3rd and 5, so let's see about the spot.
Tennessee was a little bit anxious. The end man on the line. Yep. Good call by the line judge.
Offside, defensive team. Still be 4th down, 4th and short.
Well, it's 4th and short, and I do mean short. It was 3rd and 5. See, that's the location of the spot. But
now they measure that before you move it. Now they measure that before they move it, and if it was 5 and a foot short before they moved it, it's still 5 and a foot short afterwards.
Oh, now wait a minute, isn't it 3rd down? Didn't the penalty?
Yeah, they get 3rd down over.
3rd down over.
No, 4th down. No, it was 3rd down. I'm sorry, 3rd down over again.
3rd down. He
sure
said 4th.
Right.
It's 3rd.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sitting up here like a parrot. Lee is out. Wembley goes out. 3rd down and very short. They put in a couple of tight ends, and that one of them is Martin Houston at the fullback position. And I don't know. That man comes in from the side and marked that ball, and that is not a first down where he's standing. I think Tennessee stuffed him. Stacy carried it, and they didn't make it. My My goodness.
The defensive front for Tennessee just wins that battle. And as we mentioned, the weakness for Alabama offensively is the offensive line. Strength for Tennessee is that front seven, and they certainly won that battle.
Alabama's offensive front is small and young. Williams' punt is out of there. It's a low liner going back to Dale Carter. This time he handles it. Doesn't get much help, though, and he is put on the ground back around the 44-yard line. Let's go quickly to Roger Twiville.
Well, thank you very much, Keith. The heavyweight championship fight between Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson has been called off for the moment because of a rib injury suffered by Tyson. He first sustained the injury on October 8th. He aggravated it again this week. He'll need 6 to 8 weeks to recuperate. They're looking at possibly having this fight take place sometime after the first of the year. They're having a news conference in about 1 hour. We'll keep you posted on the developments there. Let's go back to Keith and Bob.
All those shenanigans about professional boxing, and in particular the heavyweight championship, getting boring and more boring as time goes on. The game they play with their marketing and all of that stuff is incredible. But Tyson was seen about 2 weeks ago holding his ribs going into a clinic. But they wait until now to announce it. Gain is across midfield down close to the 47-yard line with Aaron Hayden carrying it. As we told you, he's the youngster out of Detroit. Smokey, the blue tick hound, when he got sick early on, he was down and sent to the hospital for heat exhaustion. And he stayed a week.
He doesn't run around the field after they score every time, do they?
No. He's an old timer. Be messing with him. That gain is to the 45-yard line, and that'll be a first down. Rock Poe is carrying it.
Poe is in there because Brunson, the starting fullback at that position, sprained an ankle and may not return this afternoon. Also for Tennessee, Lemansky Hill, who was injured, has some bruised ribs. We showed you him a little earlier going off the field.
And Lemansky Hall also. So they're playing on a rug here, and it's a warm day, so they're sticking to it some. And the first quarter is over. Well,
there's the birthday boy.
Ugly old goat.
Well, I want to tell you, it's been a tough week for me with you up here. This coming back to Alabama. They called him an institution in the release this morning in the paper, the local paper. The guy says, next to Bear Bryant coming back, it's good to have Keith Jackson in town to do the broadcast. I think, well, what am I doing here? I just go get on the airplane and go home.
We'll loan you a stump.
Pass is incomplete. Ball falls out. Mose Phillips, who came to school as a quarterback, now wideout.
Here's a look at the first quarter statistics. Alabama with only 1 first down and only 19 yards rushing. Take a look for Tennessee. They have really rushed for more yardage than they've thrown for. And that, for Johnny Majors, he would love to see each quarter.
Andy Kelly hands it off to Hayden. And he's across the 40 to the Alabama 39-yard line. Hayden's having a pretty good day. I'll remind you again that last week against the Florida Gators, Tennessee was able to gain on to 49 yards in the whole ball game. Now Hayden, with 10 carries, has already gained 54. Of course, it's a different defense they're running at today. That Florida crowd's tough. Kelly hands it off. Certainly wasn't much of a hole there that time. And the ball carrier Hayden is stopped short of the 40.
That's what Tennessee has done running the ball this year.
That is not typical Tennessee ground game.
It's not good. When you 4 yards per carry is good. Anything less than that is you're not going to make a first down by running the football that many times.
Andy Kelly drops back in short punt formation. He just wants to pooch a ball downfield and try to stop it short of the end zone, but can't do it as the ball takes a bounce and goes on to the end zone, and so it'll come back out to the 20 for the tie.
It's not Waterford Crystal or a Hustle block.
outstanding quarterback last year. Gary Hollingsworth was their quarterback, lost a bunch of offensive players, mainly in the offensive line and at quarterback.
Tide comes up now, set him up with a single back, put Palmer in motion, swing him back there. They fake it this time. Woodson keeps it, ducks away from the Tennessee pursuer, and will get himself about 6 yards. Chris Mims was coming in, number 93. He's a big guy, 6'6", 260, a defensive end. He is out of Los Angeles, a junior college man.
Mims is playing against a true freshman, number 93. Comes in and sees what's going on. Woodson makes a pretty good move on him.
And it's 2nd down and 4 for Alabama. Woodson's pass. Hooked. Prince Wimbley hauls it in, a junior from Miami, Southridge High School, and he's got a first down.
What Tennessee wants to do is force Woodson and Alabama to throw. Take a look right here. Look at the number of men playing the run. That's 9 people for Tennessee up to stop the run. The outside corners are man-to-man on the 2 receivers. And I'm sure Tennessee says, we'll force you to do that all day, and you probably won't beat us.
Boy, a little hitch sure would have done some damage, though, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Hitch and go.
Well, just and break a tackle.
Yep. Not much there for Martin Houston, who worked some of the time this week at tight end, because Derek Warren broke an ankle last week. Indiana, first quarter, jumps out 3-0 over Michigan. Oh, that'll crack the earth. That should hold up. Woodson still got it. Passes away. He has a man, but the ball's too high. Kevin Lee was over there. If that ball's down where Lee could protect it with his body, he could have handled it.
It was wide open, and I think this really points up the ineffectiveness of Alabama's ability to throw the football. He had a man wide open. Watch the receiver here. He's just going to go down and break right in this area, and the play-action fake. You know, Alabama is great at running the football, but Woodson, if Stallings needs Woodson to throw to win, he's in big trouble. Woodson is 1 of 4 with 8 yards so far.
Ball is dumped off to Houston. Houston breaks the tackle, gets it up across the 40 to the 41-yard line, but that's short of your first down. So Woodson, when you get in his face, you get him moving around, he's not going to be effective.
Houston is 235 yards. He said, I don't want to go down. The first 2 guys didn't move him.
In the punt, Tank Williamson. It'll be his 3rd. And Carter goes back for Tennessee. Now, Williams is not getting that ball up in the air much, and he's giving Carter some opportunities. And Carter is certainly not a gimme. He wasn't named All-American kick returner last year for nothing. 37-yard punt. Not much of a return, however, only a yard, and you've got a timeout. 4 jersey numbers in its history of football, all worn by players who died serving their country during the Second World War. Ball rests at the 23-yard line, where it is first down for the Volunteers. And Andy Kelly coming out. Threw 56 passes in the game last week against Florida and lost. Oh, almost fumbled that thing. Got it away quickly to Poe. And the big man is in there for about 3. Let's pause 5 seconds right here so our ABC stations can tell you who they are. Shoe off, sock off, ice around that sore left ankle. That's a good part of the quick part of the Alabama offense laying on that bench.
Doesn't look like he's going to be back in either.
Kelly, a little flip back to James Stewart, coming from a slot back position. Didn't fool anybody. Michael Rogers, a freshman from Laverne, Alabama, takes him down.
Alabama just sound defensively and offensively for Tennessee. This is what they have done so far in the SEC. It doesn't show you there that they are last in the league. They have thrown the most interceptions. They're last in interceptions, meaning that's one thing they want to lead. And that, fortunately, Kelly has thrown a lot of interceptions.
3rd down and 5, going for his first down, and he's close. Vaughn Reeves, the tight end, pulled it in. But I don't know if he's got it enough.
Looks like he's going to be just short.
He's short, Keith. So once again, they'll go to the punt with Tom Hutton. He's a left-footed freshman, and he can pop that thing. Had one block, though. Somebody missed a block up front, and they blocked Tom's kick last week. He gets some foot on it. And he runs Chris Anderson back inside the 25, and Anderson, who's another youngster that can really run, he gets it around the corner past the 30 and out of bounds. 45-yard punt, 9-yard return. Brussels. Sharon Stacy is back in the lineup, gets the ball, senior from Geneva, Alabama. Well, I tell you, there just isn't any room against these two defenses.
Tennessee has gone to an 8-man front on first downs to try and stop the running game and force Alabama to throw. Larry Lacewell, the defensive coordinator for the Volunteers, was telling me the other day that he wants to force them to throw and get them out of that running mode.
2nd down and 10. Trying a different formation here. Woodson back to throw it. He had time. Now he breaks out of there and runs it up to about the 40 and leaves him a yard or so short of his first down. He got away from Casey Rogers. When Rogers had him in his sights, he juked him and left him. So it'll be 3rd down and 1.
Explain this to me, Keith, that, you know, the Crimson Tide play at 2 different stadiums. The record here at Bryant-Denny, on campus at Bryant-Denny, is much better than it is here at Legion Field.
You ever hear of politics? Downfield, got a man wide open, and he missed it. Oh, my goodness. Kevin Turner. Williamson's punt, spinner. Carter, 19. Oh, look at that. Oh, my goodness. He just sidled by that would-be Alabama tackler and picks up a 22-yard return after a 41-yard punt. Your question about Tuscaloosa campus versus here. This stadium used to be bigger than Bryant-Denny down in Tuscaloosa, and so the big games, you're in the USC's, Nebraskas, and those kind of games. The lights are here too. And even going back to, what, 70, 71, late 60s, they were playing night games here, and television had a role in it, I'm sure. But this was the bigger part, for one thing. And Pat Dye, that pass is caught by Stewart, but not a whole lot of gain on it. Pat Dye always considered this Alabama's second home, and that's why Auburn went ahead and developed their stadium down there and will not play here anymore.
But they seem they've won about the same number at both stadiums, but they seem to lose more here than they do over on campus.
Yeah. Desmond Howard did that for Michigan. So the little people are really playing a major role in college football right now. I mean, little guys 170, 75, 80 pounds. It's no longer a game for the big men. Penalty flags and whistles tooting, and we'll stop it. Set up a screen, and it works for Mose Phillips. And Mose has a big play. That's the biggest play of the ball game for either side. The gain goes to just about the Alabama 40-yard line. Obviously, it's a first down. Mose having come to school at Knoxville as a quarterback.
Alabama, number 80 is Curry. When you rush the passer real hard, London is 55. When you rush the passer recklessly, sometimes you leave the area open for draws and screens. Tennessee with a nice call.
And first down as Kelly hands that ball away to Stewart. Stewart starts in, goes out, and gets to about the 39-yard line. And let's check in again with Roger. I think Howard's got illegal arms. I think they stretch when he goes out. He's incredible.
But it's also a very difficult throw for a quarterback to get it that far outside and not throw it out of bounds either on the side or on the end zone.
Illegal movement, offensive line.
So both teams still tight enough here, still making mistakes in the ball game. We're in the second quarter of play. 6:04 to go in the first half. Tennessee Volunteers 3-0. It's been pretty much a defensive show up to this point. Kelly will throw it. Again, nobody open deep. Drops it off to Vaughn Reeves, the tight end, and Reeves will have a first down for Tennessee at the Alabama 23-yard line. Vaughn's is a big guy. Reeves checks in at 250 pounds at least.
They've gone to play action and they've gone to their tight end. Here's the tight end. The fake is going to be up in here as he comes across the line of scrimmage. Kelly's going to do a nice job of looking down, deep down to the left, and then comes off to the outlet receiver, which is the tight end.
Kelly now 7 out of 10 for 96 yards in the first half. 3-0 Alabama. This is Stewart again, and down he goes at the 25. That's a loss of a couple of yards as Derek Oden, inside linebacker, made the stop on him.
Oden missed some time earlier this year with a sprained ankle. Was number 2 on the team, the Alabama defense last year in total number of tackles. Good inside linebacker.
Second down and 12. Faulkner is way wide to the left. Kelly gives it away to Pickens on a reverse. Pickens turns it back into the middle of the field and will be taken down at the 19-yard line by Robert Stewart, number 34.
Well, there's no question that Carl Pickens is their big play man over his career, and he's just a junior. He has 16 touchdowns. In those 16 touchdowns, he's averaged 42 yards per play.
Right now, the Vols are looking at 3rd down and 6. Nobody behind Kelly. That gives them 5 wideouts. Short of his first down. He had Pickens for just a moment because Pickens was the inside man, but that was taken away by the pressure, and it'll bring up 4th down.
And Keith, what Alabama is doing defensively is really they're not doing anything. They're only rushing 3, and they're dropping 8 men into the secondary. Tennessee is spreading them to the sideline with 5 receivers. Alabama's dropping 8 and just covering the area.
John Becksport is in for a 33-yard field goal try. He had one blocked early on in the ball game. Trying to tie it at 3. Got a lot of foot on this one, and the kick is good, and we are even. 3:32 to go, first half, a 3-3 defensive struggle. Derek Lassick, who is from Haverstraw, New York, and he's a tailback, the number 2 tailback, and quite quick. And he gives him pretty good field position as he comes up to the 26. This is what we'll have for you at halftime. This Dan Bitson story is a youngster out of Tulsa who has come back from an incredible succession of story of injuries in an automobile accident. Julia Moran will have that story, and Roger and Bo will have the football side of the news for you at halftime. The Bitson story was not able to get on last week because of the Clarence Thomas hearing. That pass is completed up to about the 35-yard line, but still just under the marker, it appears. Prince Wimbley made the catch. So we'll see about the mark on it, and it is
short of the first down, just over the 35. Wembley at 175 pounds, Palmer at 170 pounds, Kevin Lee 175 pounds. They're not big people.
Their wideouts are not big people is right.
Go for the first down with Kevin Turner carrying. May have it. Looks like he does. And we go inside 3 minutes to go in the first half. A 3-3 tie. Last year up at Knoxville, it was 9-6. And if you remember last year, Tennessee came into that ball game averaging like 39 points a game. And they got 6. Woodson steps away. He's got a lot of green in front of him. Doesn't get a whole lot out of it, however, because there's a sure tackle by Ernest Fields on him at the 44-yard line.
Fields leads the Volunteers in tackles this year. He's a second team all-out Southeastern Conference defender last year. And Tennessee is a lot like Alabama, a lot of speed and quickness. These two teams got a lot of quickness.
Classic is in now. He may be just a little quicker than Stacy. Surratt, of course, coming off knee surgery. Behind him, ball knocked loose, and it is covered by Alabama. But the man coming from the blind side got a hand in there and knocked that ball loose. I think it was Todd Kelly, number 58.
It's going to come from the left side. Hammond's number 63 is the left tackle over there. Kelly gets a hold of him.
And Toby Shields is the man who covers the ball for Alabama, the center, number 61. They'll call it 3rd down and 9. Intercepted. Very poor choice of target. And Ernest Fields, the linebacker who had dropped on the boundary side, makes the interception.
Just a poor decision on the part of Woodson. He is outside the pocket. This is good. It's a drop back pass. He gets some penetration. He slides, and that's good footwork. This is a poor decision. You can almost see it right there. You got a linebacker short. You got 2 defensive men there. There are 3 men around the receiver. That's been a problem for Woodson and Alabama's offense the entire year. Poor decisions by the quarterback.
First down for Tennessee at the Alabama 35. 55 seconds to go in the first half, and all 3 timeouts remaining. And there's a yard. Oden and Curry on Hayden. And they do spend the timeout. They have 2 remaining and 43 seconds to go in the first half. Put it on the 33. Call it a 2-yard pickup. And 2nd down and 8. Kelly to throw it. Dumps it. Under great pressure, they spread Kelly out all over the landscape. 2 guys hit him. And Antonio London, number 55, was the man that did most of the damage.
Alabama did a nice job defensively that time, not going into their zone, but going man-to-man. A little bit different look for Kelly. I'm sure during the timeout, he had a lot of conversation on the sideline about what they were playing, what we're going to do. Alabama comes up and switches the defense on him. Bill Oliver calls the defense for Alabama. Nice call.
4-man front. Backers are inside. Kelly keeps it, rolls for time, throws. My goodness, I don't know how it got there, but it did. And timeout, Tennessee. J.J. McCleskey, junior from Knoxville. Alabama up man on the play was celebrating. He thought they'd defended it, and it hadn't. It go right between somebody's hands and into the arms of McCleskey.
McCleskey's an interesting guy. He started on the defense last year, and a cornerback. Started 4 games for him. He's only 5'8" and 167 pounds. Came in as the 2nd leading receiver on the ball club behind Carl Pickens.
Well, they're at 4th down and 1 in a 3-3 ball game where the offense has been blunted pretty much all day. And now Johnny Majors are going to try to go to the clubhouse with a lead at halftime. Only 27 seconds remaining in the first half. That means Bexford, the freshman, is in. He had one blocked from 34. He made one from 43. This one will be from we made one from 33. This one will be from 43.
And if there's ever a chance time to go for a fake field goal, this may be it, Keith.
His longest in his career so far, 44. The man holding it is Jason Julian. They're going to kick it. Plenty of leg. Like I said, he's not old enough to know how hard it is yet.
That's true. That's for sure.
20 seconds to go in a half, and the Volunteers take the lead, 6-3.
This is looking more and more like the game last year up in Knoxville when Alabama won on field goals, all of it 9-6.
Well, the history of the kicking game at Tennessee, it goes back a long time, but the one name that sticks out in my mind as having played such a major role in the development of the kicking game. Of course, Neyland insisted on it, but George Cafago. Coached there for years and years and years, Coach Johnny, and was a brilliant teacher of the kicking game. And Tennessee, for years and years, have had a succession of good placement kickers as well as very good punters. You don't see them make very many mistakes on their kicking game.
Well, both of their kickers this year are true freshmen, both Bexford and Hutton. In fact, Hutton, the punter, leads the SEC in punting.
So it's a 3-point lead for the Volunteers. Off the foot. Joey Chapman will kick it off now. The man deep for Alabama is Chris Anderson.
That field goal, you saw that drive chart, 4 plays, actually 3 plays, and a field goal 9 yards was set up by the interception.
They used the tee to kick off. They don't use it anymore for the field goal. He hooks that down to the left side, and it kicks out of bounds, and that'll cost him 5, and he'll have to bring it back. So he'll redo it from the 30, or Alabama will go out to the 35 and take the ball. I would think that they would want him to re-kick it. Might as well. Also, we need to put 2 seconds back on the clock. Some hard questions.
He'd love a game like this. All this defense, all this running, and
they take it up to the 35, and they'll take it. I thought they'd make him kick it again and see if they couldn't break Anderson because he's one of the flyers. But I guess they're content to go to the clubhouse with the way things are going now. He wants to.
The coaches and the players, knowing the history of the series, it's a little bit more difficult for the offense to score this year, maybe because you know that, hey, the history has been nobody has scored, and the defenses are supposed to play better, and somehow that does have an effect on the players.
So this ought to be the last one of the first half, unless there's a penalty involved, and it's not very glamorous because it's a sack by the Alabama quarterback, and the half is over. Chuck Smith was the man that got through. So it's 6-3 Tennessee lead at halftime. Back with activities after this message and the word from our ABC station. Steve Cole is going to kick it off for Alabama to start the second half. Dale Carter is the deep man for Tennessee. Volunteers lead the ball game by a score of 6-3. Offenses haven't done much in this game so far. Kick going to the sidelines and lets it go, and now you got your choice. 35-yard line or re-kicking. Up.
Well, if you like defense, you're going to like these numbers. Look at
this half as an offensive threat. Let's hope that's all it is. Poe is
backfield with Aaron Hayden, the deep man. And Alabama's eating him up. They chose to start the possession on the 35-yard line, and Robert Stewart looked like he just assumed that that's his farm and get off of it.
Number 34 right over the center. He's only 6 foot tall, but he weighs 207.
Try to go outside, got a block on the corner, and it works pretty well for Hayden as the 200-pound freshman moves on up close to a first down. He's about a yard, maybe 2 short. Tennessee
offensively, Kelly 8 of 12 and 103 rushing. Hayden has 52 yards, and Pickens has 2 receptions for 39, and Bexforth has the 2 field goals. Alabama defensively, Oden leads with 8 tackles.
3rd down and 2. The ball's right on the 43-yard line. Kelly pitches it to Hayden. Won't get there. Boy, I tell you, it is mean trying to run.
Just good defense, Keith.
Hard day to be a pedestrian, isn't it?
Tough day to be an offensive player. Everything's happening on the offensive side of the line of scrimmage. The defenses are just too quick and too fast.
I think I say it was like trying to cross the Champs-Élysées at 5:30 in the evening. You got no chance.
4th down. Tom Hutton. 2nd punt of the day. Back to the 15-yard line on the fair catch to Chris Anderson, who is a sophomore from Huntsville, Alabama.
In the first half, Alabama offensively,
Tide comes out in the I formation, pitch it back to Saran Stacy, and a couple of yards is all he's going to get. 93, Mims. 40, Bradley.
The only time Alabama scored in the first half was on the 3rd possession when they got the ball on the Tennessee 24-yard line, took it 6 plays, and kicked a field goal. Other than that, they have not had the ball more than 5 plays in any one possession, and that is not pretty if you're an offensive person.
And this is what happens to you if they're laying on you. Stacy's carried the ball 5 times. He's picked up 3 yards.
Yeah.
Woodson goes wide with it to Stacy. And 3, now 4 volunteers out there to put him on his back. And let's join Jack Arute.
Keith, not surprisingly, neither coach was at all happy with the play of their offense, but what was surprising is what Coach Johnny Majors told me. He said, we're not going to change anything in our offense. I feel that's the best that we can do under the circumstances today. In fact, he feels it's not only going to be a defensive contest, but it may come down to the kicking game in the end.
That's a first down play on the pass to Stacy out to the 32-yard line. They're unbalanced to the left side. Boundary side, and looks like Woodson might be checking off. He is. Turner turns around and gives the snap count to Stacy, and Woodson goes back to throw, and the pass is good as Stacy picked up the Tennessee pursuer, and Wembley loses his footing and is beside himself.
It was a good checkoff by Woodson. Doesn't have many checkoffs, but he has a checkoff with maximum protection in case they're blitzing, and throw it outside to the wide receiver. Now give one of your fast guys an opportunity to make some yards, maybe break a tackle, and get a big positive play.
If he'd have just planted and cut, he'd have found some daylight.
Yeah.
Hand that ball off to the fullback Turner. And not much. Just getting the second half underway with Tennessee leading 6-3. We've had 3 field goals. You're looking at 3rd down and 1 now, and you would think, oh, well, I'll go outside for a breath of air. Don't do it, because they haven't been gaining their first downs on 3rd down and 1 plays today. As a matter of fact, Alabama is 0 for 6 on 3rd down conversions. You got 2 fullbacks in there now as they go to a power I. Stacy. Well, he searches around and finally gets a little daylight and picks up the first down. But he had to bounce off 3 people before he got outside and got across the 45. Foul call against Tennessee after the play.
big mistake. That's 15 yards. It puts the ball down on the Tennessee 39-yard line. First down, Alabama. Stacy. Pretty good run, 7 yards.
Keith, Alabama is doing something on offense. Here comes the play from the sideline with the wide receiver. That's Lee. Now watch, he doesn't give it to the quarterback. He's going to go into the huddle and call it himself. Look at it. He's calling it himself. Then the quarterback, Woodson, only gives the cadence. They do that the whole game.
Stacy again. Pursuing on the play, it looked like Daryl Hardy, number 87. He came around the block, and with Stacy looking for a place to go, was able to get him. Alabama had 3 first downs in the whole first half, and in this opening possession of the second half, they already have 3.
There's the messenger. He comes in, he calls the play. It's to save time. You have to translate it to the quarterback, and then he doesn't have to call it again to the team.
Checking.
Yeah, he certainly is.
Better dump it. Oh, shoot. He just doesn't have the experience to let it go and get that thing out of bounds and save the yardage.
You know, he's a senior, but he has not played. We mentioned he has not played before this year. He has made some poor decisions. That's Mal Moore, the offensive coordinator, and Coach Stallings. Really must be frustrating for Stallings. His offensive line is weak, and he has a quarterback that has never played.
That'll go into books as a sack, and it's the 4th one. And Tank Williamson hits it toward Coffin Corner, but he can't get it over there. And he goes through the end zone. It'll come back to the 20 for Tennessee. That's the schedule today in the Southeastern Conference. Only 2 games underway right now. Georgia making some noise in the conference, though they did go down to Alabama and get beat. And they got Florida coming up in a couple of weeks down in Jacksonville. They still play that annual in the Gator Bowl. Tennessee ball at the 20. They lead 6-3. Andy Kelly's gone all the way, pitches it back to Aaron Hayden. That's a 1-yard pickup.
Tennessee.
Number 1 laid a lick on him. That's Stacey Harrison. Let's pause 5 seconds here for our ABC stations to identify themselves.
This is WCBD TV, Charleston.
Second down and 9 coming up. Hayden got a little room over there, but Chuck Smith, number 56, got just enough of him to take him down, and Derek Oden, number 56.
Tennessee came out in this series and started off with 2 tight ends and only 1 wide receiver, trying to establish a running game against Alabama.
Third down and 3. Stay with the ground game, and they're not going to get the first down. The ball rolling around, but they're going to call it down. A yard plus short of the first down.
Well, Arkansas has really gotten things going, haven't they?
That's an 8-year rivalry. They're not going to play anymore because Arkansas is coming into the Southeastern Conference.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Oh, look at Hutton. When he gets all of it, and look it up into that bright, hot sun, Chris Anderson loses the ball and then gets away from it, which is probably the smart thing to do, because we saw Dale Carter lose one a little while ago trying to look into the sun. New combination in the backfield now. Number 25 is Derek Lassick, and the fullback is Martin Houston. Lassick, very quick. He's out of Haverstraw, New York, junior. And Woodson just pulls it down and takes off. And picks up the better part of 8 yards before Sean Walker gets him out of bounds. I don't know if that's all that bad, Bob. You can really effectively get what amounts to old single wing block and just go on and run that.
And you get an extra blocker and just have the quarterback take it under his arm and run. He's a good runner. He won't beat you throwing. He could beat you with his legs.
Yep. Lee and Wembley come wide to the bottom of your picture now. Pitches back to the tailback. Lassick. He'd pretty near dropped that thing. Breaks out of there. Gets into the clear. And he's run down at the Tennessee 26-yard line. That's what quickness will do for you.
Watch the right side.
And Lassick is out for a breather after that long run from Alt. Woodson keeping the ball, trying to hide back there and find a little weak side help. There's a penalty flag. That's a late hit out of bounds. Add 15 to that. Woodson's a big guy, and he's strong, as you can see there. He stands in there at about 220 pounds, and he's not going to lay down for you. And Tennessee got so interested in hitting him, they got beyond the field of play hitting him.
After the play is over, dead ball, personal foul, defense, 15 yards, automatic first down.
Smiley 22, but 18 is Carter. He hits him when he is way out of bounds. And another push right there. There was a lot of activity going on over there on the sideline.
Moves the ball all the way out to the 49-yard line, and now you get Jay Barker into the ball game. Woodson winded after the play, has to come out and get his breath, and Barker checks in. He's the freshman quarterback. Handed off quickly to Kevin Turner, and Turner breaks a tackle and turns it upfield. And Kevin gets about 8 or 9 yards. At the conclusion of the game today, we will choose the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player from each team. 21st year, Chevrolet has been conducting and contributing to the scholarship program. $1,000 donated to the General Scholarship Fund of each school.
Coming into the season, both Barker and Woodson were very close through spring practice and fall practice, and Barker got hurt, Woodson got the nod.
It's second down and 1.5 yards. Pitch it back to Lassick. He reaches to the 40 and gets it there for the first down.
Notice there seems to be a little bit more life.
And having Lassick in there, though Stacy is a proven quality, high quality running back, Lassick he goes flying around. He's liable to do anything. This is the big guy, Martin Houston, and there's nothing there. He's from center. He's a junior, 255 pounds. But Tennessee just rat-a-tatted him. About 4 guys went pop, 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 pop. The last one got him. Ball is resting just short of the 37-yard line. Second down and 8. Pitch to Lassick again. Turns for the hole and not much. 34-yard line. He's got to go to the 29 for the first down, so it's a 5-yard lead they have here on third down.
Tennessee defensively is just too quick. They toss that ball. You got 7, 8 guys running laterally on the Tennessee defense. These guys can run. We mentioned earlier, 9 seniors start on that defense for the Volunteers, and they all are quick.
You may see Barker's first pass right here. Miley and Wembley got tangled up over there. No flag. The pass is incomplete. And now as the kicking team comes on, let's check in with Jack.
Keith, the quarterback change may have been necessitated by an injury. Danny Woodson, number 12 for Alabama, well, he has a pulled hamstring. Now, they are taping it and wrapping it on the outside, but it's questionable whether he'll be able to return.
Yeah, they take away his legs. It's his primary tool. Williamson trying to hang it up, but that's too long. Takes a bounce and goes on into the end zone. And it'll come out to the 20 for Tennessee. First down. Volunteers leading 6-3. 5:01 to go. Third quarter. It's a first down for the Tennessee Volunteers, and they go to the run with Rockpo. And he gets 6 yards out of it. Summary on this ball game. And when you talk about offense, it's lack of. Tennessee's lead fashioned on young Beckworth's field goals.
Andy Kelly, the Tennessee quarterback, came in averaging over 300 yards a game. In fact, had thrown for over 300 the last 3 games. Only has a little over 100 so far.
Stewart loses the 2 yards.
They ran into his offensive center 2 yards in the backfield. That's not a good sign.
No, it's not. And about that time, here comes Tennessee's yet to throw the ball in this half. This being only their second possession. Oh, a little bit of room there. James Stewart, tailback. David Woodson, the Alabama quarterback. The trainer's working on him for that pulled hamstring. Looks like there might be more than that. Here goes Stewart again. And on first down, that's 2 yards where Steve Webb wraps him up. Well, we told you they had refurbished and enlarged Legion Field. There it is, 86,293. And it's the largest crowd ever in the state of Alabama that we know of, at least for the college football game. Back goes Andy Kelly on second down to the sidelines to Pickens. And Pickens is taken out of bounds at the 40-yard line, which is 2 yards short of the first down. Stacey Harrison was the first man to get there.
Pickens is one of a long list of outstanding receivers to come through Tennessee. Take a look at seven wide receivers, former wide receivers that played at Tennessee, drafted in the first round in the last 14 years. You know, Penn State is known for their linebackers and Miami for their quarterbacks, SC for their running backs. Some wide receivers around here.
Here comes your reverse with McCleskey. And they've got a first down at the Alabama 37-yard line. Mark McMillan saved the touchdown. He's also from Los Angeles, playing for Alabama.
Well, one of the few offensive plays that have gone for more than 15 or 20 yards.
Tennessee man shaken up. Clock stopped at 2:41 to go in the third quarter. Let's check in with Roger Twybo. That is Patrick Lenore, the right tackle for Tennessee out of Germantown. He's going to have to leave the ball game. James Warren listed as his replacement. This is the tailback. And it's James Stewart, and he's out of there by Eric Curry. Next Saturday, ABC's college football offers Michigan State at Ohio State, UCLA, Arizona State at Tempe, Mississippi State and Auburn, and North Carolina State still undefeated in the ACC against Clemson. That could be a title game there. All those games at 3:30 Eastern time. Kelly throws the ball, and Andy knows full well that wasn't a particularly good pass. In the first place, he was too close to Mose Phillips to really give it to him. He could have pitched it underhanded and fared better with it.
Well, he wanted to throw the ball deep. They had something going deep to the two receivers. Again, good coverage by Alabama. He had to come off to the outlet, and he really wasn't prepared to throw him the ball.
Just under 2 minutes to go now in the third quarter. It's still 6-3. It's third down and 11. The Alabama crowd comes up for the defense, and Andy Kelly's pass is whipped to the sidelines to the 30. Caught by Corey Fleming, but he's short of the marker. So they'll be looking at fourth down and about 3. Becksport has come on the field. That Youngin's leg, 47 yards. This would be his longest in college. Now make it 46, the official scorer says. Dave Burnson telling me. And he hits it, and he missed it. Missed it right. If he'd have pulled it back into the goalpost, it'd been close. 1:02 in the third quarter. Crimson Tide will get the ball at their own 30. This is Stacy. Well, all that running around behind the line of scrimmage, and just like opening the corral gate. I mean, those Broncos are all over the place.
There is just nothing there offensively when you start wide, because there is so much team speed on the defense. I mean, if you're just tuning in, this has been this way the whole ball game. The offenses have not done anything. I would guess there's been like 3 or 4 positive offensive plays the whole time. And why is that? Because the defense, team speed, is much greater than the offenses.
Stacy, 9 carries, only 13 yards. Dave Archer going to throw it. Well, he was going to throw it. But again, there's an evidence of exactly what Bob was talking about. These defensive people lurk, literally, until they see a crack, and then they just shoot through it, and they're almost impossible to block. So we've played 3. It is 6-3 Tennessee, and we'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC station. Jostled around. Ball is at the 30-yard line. It is third down. This is Kevin Turner. First down, Alabama. It's 6-3 Tennessee as we go to the fourth quarter of play.
Nice play, a little shovel pass, taking advantage of the upfield rush by the Tennessee Volunteers. A little shovel pass, big first down for Alabama.
Todd Kelly, the defensive end, has to come off for the balls. That's about the 4th angle we've seen today. Stacy back in for Alabama now at tailback. This goes to Kevin Turner to the 45, gets 3 yards. Sean Walker, the tackle.
Well, it's been defense, all defense. Again, here's why they can't run. Look at this. 8 Tennessee Volunteers up around the line of scrimmage. It's tough to run against an 8-man front. He is substituting a linebacker, taking out a cornerback on 1st and 10 to stop the run of Alabama.
And as long as I've known Larry Lacewell, he ain't going to change unless you make it.
That's right.
He's just sitting there and slapping your ears off, and you got to do something different. That pass right there might help. Tight end Buskey gets a first down for Alabama. Let's check in with Roger Pueblo.
Thanks, Keith. Division I AA, Middle Tennessee State against Florida State in Tallahassee. Casey Weldon to Shannon Baker. Well, yeah, they counted it a touchdown. His 16th touchdown pass of the year. And Boots Donnelly had this to say, the Middle Tennessee coach.
I might have caught a bus if I'd been one of those players before dawn. That's one of those games that you have Saran Stacy that you have to play them like Cal State Long Beach playing Miami. That's a mismatch. You know it is going in, but it's a payday for Cal State Long Beach. It's a win for Miami. It's just like this one. That's a win for Florida State. And I said Gene Stallings had a heck of a line last night. He was talking about having 3 easy games in a row, and he said, sure, you called Tulane easy, and you called that team easy, and Chattanooga easy. Well, you just try losing one.
Lose one.
See how easy it is. This is Saran Stacy, and he's got another Alabama first down. So all of a sudden, with that one pass downfield, stretching Tennessee's defense vertically, has seemingly opened the door here, and the Tide's on the move.
And it seems to have come with the insertion of Jay Barker at quarterback with the injury to Woodson.
27-yard line of Tennessee. Here goes Lassick. 9 yards on the carry. Crowd is in the game. First time in a while.
Pretty good blocking up front. Just a stalemate. The offensive line just didn't really move the Tennessee defensive line, but just held them, and Lassick made a good move to get through.
Houston's in at fullback. Goes to Stacy. Slowed up, but picks up the first down, it seems anyway, on the mark. First down, Alabama. All of a sudden, boom, boom, boom.
Yep.
Again, I'll give you that pass downfield to the tight end. That stretched him up. Lassick is back in. He's now alternating his tailbacks. Lassick. He's out of bounds just short of the goal line. At the 1. He almost slipped in there. Roderick Lewis got just enough of him to make him hit the chalk at the 1.
Behind the defense, on the other side of the field, just a toss, a play they've been running all day, but this time, Houston, number 35, is going to get a good block on the corner right there, and Lassick has the patience to wait for it. Gets down to about the 1-yard line.
Kind of funny, Lassick's walking around up the sideline, leaving the game, calling for the crowd to cheer, not on the field. Everybody else is saying, hey, be quiet, we can't talk. Barker gives it to Stacy. Touchdown, Alabama. They've got the lead. In the end zone to lead 10-6, and Steve Cole kicks off. And he kicks it right to Dale Carter. Says, here you are, big fella. Have a shot at it. And he comes back to the 26. So the Tide's all jacked up right now. The crowd is of 86,000 plus is in the game. It's up to Tennessee now. Be quiet. Stewart at tailback. Andy Kelly lets it go down the middle of the highway. Incomplete. Closest man to it was Antonio Langham. The man running under the ball was Carl Pickett. That may have been a play of influence.
Frustration throw, yeah.
Yep.
He was just throwing that downfield. As we take a look at Saran Stacy, every time he has scored a touchdown, well, almost every time, 14-1 for Alabama.
Now let's see whether or not Kelly did influence Alabama's defensive attitude. We'll have to wait until they've had their conversation and timeout.
with 11.5 minutes to play in a ball game.
Nothing's as proud as a Chevy Full.
Great piece of music. All right, it's 2nd down and 10 for Tennessee. Crowd jumping into it. Andy Kelly checking off, has to call his tailback up to tell him. Then gives him the ball. And there's not much there. John Sullins leads the defensive surge for Alabama. And here's Jack.
Keith, what they may think on the Tennessee side is they've seen this movie in black and white in Gainesville last week. The crowd got into the game, and Andy Kelly and company said they couldn't even check off. They couldn't hear themselves. You saw in that last play that they had to come up to some of the key players and actually tell them to check off.
Well, that's the problem when you're on the road, and you make provisions for that when you're home at practice.
Kelly never had a chance. Antonio London, number 55.
Alabama, with a late substitution, goes to a 5-man line. The man that gets him is going to come around the outside of the screen of the offensive tackle, top of your screen. Late substitution, good defensive play.
And Hutton is in to punt with Chris Anderson deep for Alabama. Good kick by Hutton. Woo. He grows up, he might be pretty good. Chris Anderson going down to 30, gets a block on the corner. And he's all the way down to the Tennessee 15-yard line. 1st down, Alabama.
The number 2 team in the conference in punt returns. Now you're going to see a wall. Look at the red jerseys. They're all waiting over there for Anderson. If he can get there, good things are going to happen. Special teams, how often they'll break open a close game.
He stepped out of bounds about 3 yards back up the field. But in the melee, you can't see it. Adams is the man, Mark Adams, tight end, is the man hurt on the side of the field. He got involved in that kick coverage and that rolled up in that big crowd on the sidelines. It was a 51-yard punt by Hutton, but it was a 56-yard return by Anderson. But here's the point. Hutton outkicked his coverage.
Yes, he did. And Alabama across the board has better special teams than Tennessee. They're better in kickoff and punt returns, better in covering the punts, just about every category on the special teams.
And so now this crowd is really in it. 9:55 to go in the ball game. And it's 10-6 Alabama, and they're camped on the Tennessee 15, and the campfire is burning. Stacy. Volunteers put a little water on that smoke after a 2-yard pickup with J.J. Shirless, whose daddy Tom played at Alabama. All-SEC performer. Second down and 8. Classic. It's the lone back. Parker can run it. Gets inside the 10, down to the 7. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
Gene Stallings, just a design run, doesn't want to make anything negative happen here. Just keep the ball. The worst we want to come out of here with is a field goal. I'd be very surprised if he put this ball in the air.
I'll tell you what, a touchdown sure would be big, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but
this is Stacy. There's your 1st down. First and goal inside the 3.
In a close game like this, when field goals have been the norm, if you can get more than 2 field goals up, that'd be a big advantage.
Tennessee tight end Mark Adams has a bruised shoulder. Just inside the 2, first and goal. Stacy to the 1. Boy, they're quick. Defensively.
Yep. You see the number 23 on Ernest Fields, who made that tackle. The reason he wears 23, he's a linebacker, is because he used to be a running back. A lot of these guys that wear these low numbers used to be running backs that grew up and with the speed, brought the speed with them, and now they play linebacker.
Classic. Touchdown, Alabama.
It's like he pulled a muscle right there at the end. I don't know.
Well, he's showing off in the end zone, but he looks...
Yeah, it looks like he's holding his hamstring.
Yes,
he wanted to get up and celebrate just a little before he had to go off.
Yep, I think he's pulled one, too.
Good block there, good cut up, and then back to the outside. Right there.
There it is.
Right there, yeah.
Oh, you can feel it all the way up here. And Green for the extra point. Penalty flag, it is good. See about the flag.
Defensive team offside. The kick is good. The penalty being forced on the kickoff.
7 minutes and 54 seconds to play in a ball game. Deep for Tennessee. This time they don't kick it to Carter. They kick it short, give up some distance in order to keep it away from him. Mose Phillips is going to wind up with a ball at the 15-yard line. And you got another flag way back up here at the 40-yard line. So I got a hunch that a whole lot of folks are going to have to come back this way.
Alabama was offside.
Tennessee possessing the ball back at the 15. You know they want them to do it again. So they'll bring it back up here to the 35 and kick it off. This is what's shaking in the top 10 today.
Offside on the kicking team. 5-yard penalty. The kick will be replayed.
Florida State rumbling along. I don't think the Seminoles ought to have any trouble until they get down to November 16th.
I'll tell you a team that a lot of people don't know about, and that's the Washington Huskies.
You got that right.
Especially east of the Mississippi. We've seen them a couple of times, and they are, you talk about quick. These two teams have quick defenses. Put Washington right there with them.
Except the Huskies got everything to go with it.
Yep. Yep, they sure do.
So put it back on the 35, and Cole will re-kick it. He didn't want to kick it to Carter then, but Carter's got it in his hands and taking it at the 20. Holy cow, what a hit. Want to know the fella's name that just hit him? Sam Shade.
And he's a true freshman, one of 12 true freshmen that have played this year for Alabama.
Monday night on ABC Sports, Jim Kelly of the Buffalo Bills, Boomer Esiason of the Cincinnati Bengals. Well, it's been all Buffalo to this point, but Boomer says my boom is ready. ABC's Monday Night Football at 9 Eastern Time.
Those are two quarterbacks that can really light it up, too, Keith.
They really are, aren't they? Two tough guys. That's pass is intercepted. It's deflected and intercepted by Antonio Langham. And Alabama is in that old familiar posture of rolling. And they are on fire right now.
Well, he's trying to go to his favorite receiver, Pickens. Pickens is right here. He's just going to run straight down and run a streak. Now, Langham is here. He's just going to go down, and the ball is underthrown. He'll intercept it when it's thrown short and tipped, as you mentioned.
The Volunteers they just can't get a hold of a fire hose now, can they? It's just everything's going Alabama's way.
That's rolling. Everything's downhill now for Alabama.
Kelly in this half, not too good. 2 out of 5, 15 yards and interception. This is Stacy. He's still going. And he's inside the 10, out of bounds, first down and goal, Alabama at the Tennessee 8-yard line.
You talk about a tough run. He was hit just going through the line of scrimmage. Watch to the left side of your screen, right there. That's Hardy, number 87, who almost knocked him off his feet. Gains his balance. Unbelievable.
Stacy again. Oh, man. Hey, Saran, take it easy. You're going to break something. My goodness.
Stacy, 2 years ago, was up for the Heisman Trophy Award at the beginning of the year. Injured his knee in the first game, missed the entire year. That was last year. Came back this year. He's been averaging over 100 yards a game.
That's the Alabama tight end Buskey down on the field.
But Stacy is leading the SEC in rushing. Just doing an outstanding job.
7:09 to play in a ball game, 17-6. Alabama has threatening to blow it open here in the final quarter.
It's football time. Your ball, Joe.
I'm hurting, Jimmy.
I did it. You can do it.
This isn't tennis. This is football pain.
My doc says ibuprofen for body pains. The medicine in Nuprin.
My trainer, same thing.
So Nupit.
Nupit. Nupit with Nuprin.
Strong stuff.
Just takes one.
Cheer up, Joe. There's always tennis.
Yeah, Jimmy? You think I'm old enough?
For back, joint, or muscle pain.
Nupit.
Nupit. With Nuprin.
The body pain medicine.
You could call one company to take your package to an address across town.
Right here on the field of combat. This is Saran Stacy, and he's going to lose a yard on that carry. Trying to weave his way amongst the bodies, and Ernest Field wasn't minding. And he took him away. 17-6 right now. Field goal makes it 20. That's 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points at least for a tie. But, you know, Tennessee would still have a shot at him. A touchdown here, and Tennessee may not have a chance. Turner's a man in motion, the fullback. They go the other way, give it to Saran Stacy, and he scores. Junior college and came back. High kick to Ronald Davis. Wide out, back on the 3-yard line. Whoa. I mean, I tell you, folks, it's sellout time. It's not a safe place to be out there right now. Michael Rogers hit him. Saran Stacy had a yard in the first quarter of the game, 0 in the second. Here you're looking at the numbers on Andy Kelly in the first half and the second half. I'll give you Stacy in a minute. That ball is just short of the 19-yard line, where it's first down for Tennessee. And if anything good's going to happen for the Volunteers today, it's got to happen pretty soon. Andy Kelly all the way to the sidelines.
to J.J. McCleskey and a pickup of about 6 yards, and here's Jack.
Hey, Keith, if you lived in Bridgeport, Pennsylvania, you'd pull probably for the Penn State Nittany Lions, right? Well, that's not the case for 24 members of the Bridgeport, Pennsylvania Bama Boosters. Johnny Nicoli, you're the president of this group. Why don't you pull for Penn State?
Because of the tradition of Alabama, the winning tradition of great fans and the greatest Southeast Conference.
And this is the only game they come to all year.
Well, they picked a good one. Pass is incomplete, intended for Mose Phillips. I remember that a long time ago. They started that. Bridgeport just decided, well, we're going to back the Tide, and they have socials and things like that. And then once a year, everybody loads up and comes down here and has a good time.
And plus you like to follow a winning program, right? You like those long rides back home. You like to have them happy. You don't want a sad trip.
That's right. Third down. Kelly back. He's got a screen working for a first down to Mose Phillips. Mose still hauling it. And he is finally thrown out of bounds at the 44-yard line of Alabama, and that tends to quiet the crowd just a bit. At 24-6, however, time is the ally of Alabama, no question about it. That'll be Antonio London, who has played a big ball game today defensively for Alabama. First quarter, Tennessee had a chance. Alabama got the lead on Green's 21-yarder, and then when Tennessee couldn't convert a fumble, they wound up a 3-3 tie in the second quarter on Bexvort's field goal, then took the lead at halftime as John hit one from 43. But in the fourth quarter, the Tide started to turn things around. Stacy from a yard out, Lassick from a yard out, and Stacy from 3 yards out. And that's where we are, 24-6. Tennessee with the first kind of a threat in a long time from the 44-yard line. Andy Kelly's pass is good. The pass is caught by Faulkner, his second catch of the ball game. He has not seen the ball since the first quarter of play. It's first down Tennessee inside the Alabama 15.
Well, not many wide receivers for Tennessee have seen the ball in the second half.
Into the corner of the end zone. It is too high and it is incomplete. And now Alabama is getting those DBs in there. How many they got in there now? 6?
Well, they do as many as 7. Andy Kelly is known around these parts, the Southeastern Conference, for bringing the Volunteers back from deficits. I don't know whether he can bring them back from 18 points down with 5 minutes to play, but that's the chore in front of him.
Antonio London comes back into the game after they got pumped up, got some wind back in him. They show blitz. Now they peel out of it. And Kelly dumps it. Trying to get a screen going, but Aaron Hayden can't find much room. He gets inside the 10 to the 9. And the clock running along at 4:55 to play in the game. After the game, stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental postgame report with Roger Twibell and Bo Schembechler. We'll have scores and highlights as many of the games in the middle of the country rolling along now, and some of them out in the mountain country. And, of course, there are some terrific games coming up here on ABC Sports as soon as we get through in Birmingham. A very large one out on the West Coast. The Washington Huskies and the California Golden Bears, 2 undefeated teams.
Here's a look at Carl Pickens, Keith, one of the key players in this ball game. Only 3 receptions for 45 yards, an average of 15. He came into the ball game today, leading the Southeastern Conference in catches, in yards, total yardage, and also yards per game.
London is down on the field again. Looked like he had a cramp, and he's going to walk off, but Antonio has put in a day's work already. It looks to me like they could probably give him the rest of the day off.
See Marshall ahead of NC State in the first quarter. Second quarter.
Look at that. Pittsburgh beat the Syracuse. Temple beats Navy. Jerry Burke bringing the Temple out back. He's a good coach.
success with the University of Pennsylvania. Kelly keeps it, dives for the goal line, and they don't give it to him. But he'll have a first down just short of the goal line.
It's a good play by Andy Kelly. Again, Alabama dropping everybody off into the end zone, and nobody was open, but there was a lot of room for him to run, and he took advantage of it.
Got to remember that Tennessee played a very tough, emotional game last week against Florida. The dive, and it's touchdown, Hayden. And the Volunteers have answered some.
The scheduling is so important, Keith. I mean, just playing Florida and Alabama is tough enough, but to play them both on the road and back-to-back on the road, that's very difficult. If they would have had them both at home in Knoxville, the chances of them beating both of them would probably been pretty good.
You know about scheduling. Remember that story I was telling you last night about when General Neyland's up, Scrappy Moore was coach at Chattanooga, and Tennessee's going to go for 2 here. And Alabama, they always played Chattanooga before the Alabama game. I'll finish it in a minute. Let's watch them go for 2 here. That's Pickens in motion. Kelly gives it to him. Gotta hurry. Won't get there. Number 11 put him away for Alabama, Lemensky Hall. And so the 2 points is turned away, and the score remains 24-12. But to continue the story, so General Neyland called it, Alabama goes to the T formation, change the offense, different coach. And General Neyland called Scrappy and said, "Scrappy, how important is that game of ours to you?" And he said, "Oh, that's very important. That pays our bills for the year." Scrappy, how would you like to go to the T formation?
And did he help him go to it?
Play the same defense and same offense. Yep. 4:25 to go in the game now, and 24-12.
Well, you're looking at an onside kick here. Tennessee is down by 12 points with 4.5 minutes to play.
Putting it on the tee. Onside kick coming up. George over here with one of his teammates, so he's going to hit it right along the line and try to bounce it up in the air. Bounces off an Alabama man. It's Fair Pickens.
No, it's Carl Pickens.
No, Fair Pickens. Carl's not out there.
That was
a lot of clawing and scratching down in the bottom of that pile.
Looked to me like a Tennessee man has it.
Well, they're still fighting over it.
Yeah, that's right.
Tennessee got it.
May have changed hands a few times.
Tennessee got it. And so the Volunteers put one in the end zone, try the onside kick, and by golly, they come up with it.
It's a good kick. It's a lot of bounces. It's not going to go out of bounds. It's knocked up in the air, which is great for the defense. Now you put all of your defensive backs and wide receivers, all the good hands people over there to receive it. And all your linebackers and defensive backs are all the white shirts because you want tough people that can go down there and fight for it and take it away.
Well, you know who went down there and got it was that big old 6'6" defensive end, Chris Mims.
Yeah.
So Tennessee has the ball at the 49-yard line. And Kelly throws it in underneath to Mose Phillips. And isn't going anywhere this time because John Sullins was right there. The big senior from Oxford, Mississippi, took him down.
You know, I sense a little bit of a different Andy Kelly out there in the last drive and the first play of this one than I did before. He's more intense. He's more of a hurry up. He gets tougher toward the end of a ball game if he's behind.
Whips that pass over the head of Carl Pickens, incomplete.
The defense he's going against is not an easy defense. Alabama, we mentioned, They come into this ball game. They are the best team in the SEC against the pass, and they lead the conference in takeaways.
3 minutes and 49 seconds to play in the game. 24-12, Alabama. And all of the excitement has been in the final period. Little delay. Ball handed off to Fabio Henson. And not much. About 3. So they've turned the marker over, and it says 4. Could be right here the last gasp for Tennessee. And so as a result, they call a timeout to talk about things. Johnny Majors, the offensive coordinators, they have made their call. He's letting the quarterback coach, the offensive coordinator, those people deal with it. Remember, these are the games following in your respective areas. Big one in the Southwest, big one in the Big 8, big one in the Big 10.
How about Illinois? Big surprise there where they've been playing. Of course, they've been playing a lot of those at home. It'll be interesting to see how they do over at Iowa.
On the grass, too. They play on the rug at home. David Burnson has just come up with quite a remarkable stat. He says that's the first successful onside kick against Alabama in 24 years. Are you sure? That's quite remarkable. Todd Berry, our spotter again, as he has been for 10-odd years. Kelly's pass is complete. That is a first down. He goes to the big play man, Carl Pickens. And Pickens picks off the first down. That'll move the chains to stop the clocks at 3:15 to play in the game.
Alabama has contained Pickens pretty well. We showed you that graphic a little earlier, having caught only 3 passes for about 45 yards. Makes a big play there to continue the drive.
Mark it just inside the 30. Kelly's out there. He has a protector directing traffic. His pass is good inside the 15 to the 14, and that's another first down. 3:05 to play in the ball game. Executive producer of ABC Sports, Jack O'Hara. Coordinating producer of ABC's college football is Bob Goodrich, who produced today's game, and it was directed by Larry Camp. Tennessee shrugging off a 5-yard offside penalty against Alabama to keep the ball in the play.
Well, you mentioned about that onside kick, the first one in 27 years against Alabama. Tennessee may need to do it again.
Yep. 3 minutes on first down. Kelly throws out of bounds, incomplete. He continued to pay my due respects to those who have made this whole thing work today. Our technical director, Gary Larkins, associate producer for college football, Jim Ressler, associate director, David Kibiat, unit manager, Lenny Nathan, tech ops, Sal Fong and Hal Schmitz, assistants to the producer, Mitch Green and Steve Shunks, the computer stats, Mark Amito and Tim Goodman, booth coordinator, Jenny Thompson, our sideline coordinator, Dick Schechter. That's a good, tough run by Aaron Hayden. And Hayden wrestles his way inside the 10, close to the 8. But time now, like the shifting sands. Put the ball at the 9-yard line. There's the touchdown, Aaron Hayden. So Tennessee has gone bang, bang on the scoreboard.
Big effort by Hayden. Hayden just just a true freshman playing in only his 7th game. See Johnny Majors signaling we're going for 1 point.
This will make it a 24-19 ball game with 2 minutes and 25 seconds to play.
Everybody is spread out. 8 red shirts back defending the pass. You don't like to see a quarterback hand the ball off on this situation, but it's a smart play. He makes a good play out of it, makes the score.
You know what this reminds me of? Last Saturday's game down in the Orange Bowl when it looked like that Miami had Penn State's will broken and the game in their pocket. The kick is up and good. It looked like Alabama had Tennessee's will broken and the game in hand. Not so.
This one has a little bit different flavor. The defenses were choking this game down for like
2 minutes and 25 seconds to play. The Chevrolet most valuable players of the game are Sean Walker for the University of Tennessee, 15 tackles in the ball game today. Surratt Stacy, 20 carries, 69 yards, 2 touchdowns, but a big player in the 4th quarter for Alabama. Chevrolet donating $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to reward the outstanding students who need some help financially. Here's Chapman to see if he can reproduce magic. Notice how he's got the ball teed up. He sort of lays it down, trying to get that end over end, get a bounce on it. Knocked down by the Alabama man and controlled by the Crimson Tide. Now, you do not, again, to say it again and again and again and again, look at him hug that ball. That's Kevin Turner. Kevin Turner he was the one supposed to go get it the last time.
Turner's got good hands. He has caught 92 passes in his 4-year career here at Alabama, so that's why they have him out there. In fact, 2 years.
So it's first down, Alabama. The ball is on the Tennessee side of the field at the 44-yard line, and now all they need to do is run out the clock and let Tennessee burn up their times out. They have 1 remaining, and they just spin it. So from here on, all Alabama has to do is just roll it. It might need 1 first down.
I think they will need 1 first down. Johnny Majors, of course, wants either to get a fumble, and if he can't get that, just hold them. 8-man front for sure, sometimes a 9-man front just to stop him.
Well, Johnny had an old friend out in Iowa, a gentleman named Bob Dylan, who passed away this year. Bob used to send notes to Johnny. We were talking about that last night. And this seems a fitting time to remind Johnny of one of the pieces of advice that Bob Dylan sent him. Make the least of what is gone, the most of what is to come. Because unless there's some real magic here in the next few minutes, this one is gone. 24-19, Alabama. So at the 42-yard line. That's ball, 2nd down and 8. Stacy just covers it up. Running, coursing through the soul of the man with the ball is that old eternal advice. Do not drop it.
As this, the fans are reacting to the Tennessee player on the ground. The fans think that he's faking, and I think something Stallings may think he's faking too, just to get the clock stopped.
Well, it's
there's nothing in the rules that stop this from happening.
That's Sean Walker.
I don't know if we got a replay or not to see if Sean Walker was injured.
So while we got a timeout, let's go to Gene Stallings for a moment. And the comment he had last night regarding his time spent with Paul Bryant and Tom Landry.
Our X's and O's weren't any better than anybody else's.
Clock is rolling. Parker giving the ball to Stacy. That ball came loose. He fumbled it.
Unbelievable.
Tennessee's going to get 1 more shot.
This is unbelievable.
There's your miracle.
Davis, number 5, covered it.
The last thing you want to do here is take any chances at all. The worst thing you do is punt the ball away and let your defense come out. The ball was loose. There's no doubt that the ball was loose before he goes down. There's a minute and a half to play. Tennessee